Hello everybody, welcome to another visual novel workshop tutorial. Today I'm gonna be focusing on cover art. Cover art, as you can kind of see here, is that nice promotional picture that you show to get people interested in your story that you're gonna for your game. I know there's the bleach route, which is you show a really interesting character, but with this it's like you're taking a scene from the game itself and trying to see if that's a story that your reader will like. And oftentimes this is a little bit more of a hook than just pretty artwork. So for this cover art, I'm gonna put like a menu, like a long journey here with new game, load game, etc. All these buttons here, that's why it's kind of empty there, but still trying to keep it interesting. So this is going to be for episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, episode 4, and episode 5. It's nice to do them in succession, so like there's kind of a style going on with the cover art. You can see like very detailed characters, very low detail backgrounds, and trying to just keep that theme going. This one is just plain 2 colors. All that stuff. So before you even get to this part, we gotta start with a sketch. I'm using Manga Studio, so it allows me to make like 1 layer blue and 1 layer pink. And sketching or thumbnailing, it's really important to just like get this idea across. Like in the previous workshop, I stressed the importance of lines and making sure that every line fits the character. So like Warwick is very elegant, so nice curves, making sure those are in place, whereas Alfieri is kind of like a little rough and around the edges. Now these sketches no one ever has to see. Now these sketches no one has to see, but for you it is the most important thing you can do. In fact, I'm kind of embarrassed with how her face is so scratchy, and then this doesn't exactly look right. But it's really important that you get the composition down, alright? I like this ratio. And that you get, like, the characters, like, their personality in the sketch. So here, once again, keeping him pretty smooth. Little girl there. I don't think I did Alfieri. Yeah, I didn't do Alfieri's pose correctly at all here. So let's go. Yeah, her pose is like the wind is somewhere there, her cape's going somewhere here. I don't know which way her pelvis is going, but you gotta at least have the idea. And then Warwick's face is just completely, messed up. But you do these thumbnails to just get the ideas and make sure that the story is there in your sketch. So as you're rendering through, you have something to go by, because when you're rendering, you're gonna like erase stuff. It's important to have these sketches so you can like keep going back and making sure, alright, this is what is actually there, this is what I need to make sure I keep, and I make it look better. For this one, the composition was not as nice as I'd like it. Like, these guys were a bit too closely in size. So I made them smaller and this one a bit bigger. His eyes are squinted here, whereas they're kind of opened here. two different emotions, you gotta make your judgment on which one is correct for telling the best story. And then finally, this is probably the one that had the biggest difference. You can see, like, I didn't even put in the characters' faces here. But I knew what the story was, so when I'm like, okay, this is alright, but I can make this character look cooler if it is in this pose. I'm kind of ambivalent, because this may have been a better direction story-wise, or maybe not. It just tells a completely different story. This one, he's kind of annoyed at the girl for cheering him on. This one, he's very, very uncertain, and the girl's just going crazy in the background, going like, you can do it! So, I urge you to do a lot of sketches before. So now, I'm gonna go through a sped up version of creating some cover art for episode 6. So I know a lot of the pros, they like to block out, alright, here's a figure here, here's a figure there, here a figure, there a figure, everywhere a figure. But for me, I like to start off with, alright, here's my story in mind. What's the first thing I can do to start telling that story? This cover art is, we're gonna have a gender bent Warwick. So gender bent Warwick is that little girl in the center there, who is undercover and is surrounded by 3 very powerful and handsome men, along with a gender bent fairy. So this guy here, his name's Eugene. He's kind of this angelic, good guy type person. And originally I was gonna have like a character kind of kneel down to really empathize with the little girl. You know, like they'll do for the kids. I may have changed that one character's pose that's kneeling down. Well, that's kind of lower about 5 or 6 times during this process. Anyways, so yeah, you've got a very shy Warwick, gender bent Warwick, who's not used to having guys hit on him, right? And then the character with a hand over gender bent Warwick's shoulder is gender bent Fairy, who's going like, you guys can't do this, she's a little girl. And that's Batista eventually. He's gonna be like, oh no, hey man, I'm not bad. I was just playing. It's all good. So yeah. At least that's what I'm thinking about making him do. I think I ended up doing that. Yeah, so like the golden boy at the very left, he's just kind of like standing, smiling, you know, being polite because that's what he is. I don't know why I changed him to green, but it works, I guess. Oh yeah, I put every single character on a different layer. I didn't make multiple layers. It's literally every figure has their own layer, and I just color change them. So when I'm moving around, I know, like, moving around or drawing, I know exactly which layer this sketch strike is going to. Because I've done it occasionally where I've used all gray, and when I'm doing like multiple figures and then I'm like, okay, I want to cut this figure to the side, and it's like, shoot, I put that other character's hair there, put this other character's hair there. So it just, color helps you keep organized. And this would be a good case to use it. Color or like different values at least. Even though values would be kind of hard. Yeah. So at this point, I started to really struggle. And like I said, I destroyed that pose altogether. That's okay. That's okay. It's just between you and me. We're sketching. We don't have to get it right on the first try. Oh man, I experimented with that guy like so much. What would be really cool? Because he's supposed to be like the cool guy, the cool samurai dude, who's like, I'm nice, but I'm not like that emotional. And then just didn't know how to portray that. Oh yeah. Now working on gender bent off very. So gender bent off very is like a character that I just created on the fly. And I was trying to figure out what type of hair and facial features the gender bent off very should have. Like thick eyebrows because the manliness. This is not a girl at all. But long hair, short hair, really curly hair, slightly wavy hair. Oh, that looked kind of scary. Thank goodness I fixed it? Hopefully I fixed it. And things like that. Now I was trying to see, alright. Too big. His head to body proportion I struggled with a lot. I changed his head to body proportion about 7 times until the end. This visual novel is just covering the thumbnailing aspect of it. So you didn't see the 6 or 7 times that I changed his head length. And see, like, I'm just literally making his hair longer and longer and longer until I'm like, okay, that's enough. Eventually, I'll come and do that. It's also important, like compositions like these, to make sure that your characters are different enough. Because I started to realize that with Gender Bent Off Fairy's hair, it was a lot like normal Warwick's hair. Just with the nice curves. But you just gotta experiment. Gotta scratch. Forget trying to nail it in one line with the thumbnailing. You gotta nail it in one line when you're doing like the line work and you're trying to clean things up. But in this stage, just go over the line as many times. Just keep doing it until it feels right. Gotta make sure that the story's good. There's a guy by the name of Chris Wilson. Like his comics, art-wise, it's not like impressive, but his humor is amazing. And he really takes what he does well. Like he always makes sure that the story is good, even if like the artwork is. Well, he then uses his artwork to his own advantage, if I remember, because, yeah, it's like simple, so why should you make it look complicated? Anyways, oh hey, so there's some original concept art. In the Remaking Warwick series, I've shown how important it is to have a clear idea of what your characters look like. And it's a good thing I made this one for him. Or else I would have just been going off the fly and just experimenting. Wouldn't have turned out like the actual character at all. So, I know a lot of people worry about, like, your artwork. And I'm not gonna say it's not important. Just make sure your artwork is to your advantage. So, let's see, what's a really complicated looking artwork? So, like, stuff like the Gundam series, with, like, very heavy detailed machinery and all that stuff, you probably don't need for, like, a casual slice of life type of manga. Like, you can, it's okay to be a little bit more abstract, a little bit easier on yourself for that. Like, I wouldn't expect the level of, what's that really complicated Gundam one? Evangelion? Yeah. The same detail of Evangelion on an anime like Toradora. They know what type of story that they are, and they own up to it. So, aside from, like, taking advantage of the art style, make sure your proportions are correct to the story that you want to tell too. Super deformed is, like, good for super deformed is good for, if if it fits your story. I prefer bishonens, which usually that archetype is skinnier, taller, leaner looking men. So I couldn't afford to have his head so big. Now, the one thing in this concept art that's going to be different in the final is that character wears a lot of red, not blue. In the concept art, it looked really good that he was in blue. But he's supposed to be in red. It's okay to break whenever you feel like it. Just know a good time when to break. Now, the reason why I really wanted to make him red was Batista's going to be blue, and this guy that I'm working on right now is going to be yellow. So it'll be the three primary colors, and then Alfair is going to be like a tealish green. And General Benoit's going to be like a maroon, like a pinkish, a hot pink red. And so wanted to use their, like, color associations to more of my advantage. Anyways, the guy that I was working on, I didn't delete him, I just hid the layer. I found out that psychologically, if you keep your picture as simple looking as possible to you during certain parts of the process, it's easier to work on. It helps you, like, psych yourself for, oh yeah, it's just this character, and I don't have to worry about the other character just yet. Just need to work on making sure that his proportions and his things are correct. After you've made sure that the composition's good. At this point, I probably should have taken a photo reference of a guy with his arms crossed, but I don't have internet on the computer that I'm currently working on. I don't have internet in my room, actually. I have to go to another computer and upload everything. But yeah, I would say use some photo reference at points like that. It's yeah. As you can see, like, I was just not worried about that character, so I could just real quickly erase him. Spent a lot of time on his hair. And his face. Unfortunately, the final picture would not follow the thumbnail sketch for his face. It was at the end, and I'm like, I'm tired. I want to finish it. This took an incredibly long time because of just how complicated the things were. Anyways, complicated things, just break them down. And for me, it was figure by figure. For you, you may try other methods. Just remember to break it down. Keep it simple. Don't stress yourself out. You can do this. Believe in yourself. And now I'm at this point where, alright, composition's pretty much good. My basic proportions are done. Now I just have to start cleaning up things for my line art. I mean, I could have kept it all scratchy, but then you're just confusing yourself. The more effort you put into the sketch, the easier it is to ink. You don't need to put in that effort to the sketch because, like I said, no one's ever going to see this thumbnail. You could have jumped straight to the inking, but is it worth it? Is it worth giving yourself some extra work on the inking part when you could just make it easier for yourself in the sketching part? Yeah? Bad. I mean, ideally, the sketching part is the best place to make any sort of change. Because when you get to the inking, then you have to do, it takes a lot longer to make any change. And then when you base cell color it, a lot more time. Oh my god, and I hate doing edits when the picture's fully rendered. So spend a considerable amount of time on your sketch. It'll help create more of an engaging composition and tell a better story. And that's what we're here for. A visual novel with a good story. Just want to know what it is before we jump in, right? There you go. I'm not sure how many of you guys follow my visual novel that I'm creating, A Long Journey. But I've been meaning to work on it. And I have been working on it, mostly character artwork. But as you can tell by this quick background here, I'm missing a kind of a fundamental skill. I'm not very good with backgrounds. Anyways, like, the most important thing is that character interaction, so I was like, probably not enough people will care how finished the background is. So I'm just gonna be kind of sloppy about it. Whatever you do, don't over detail your background more than your characters. It'll just overpower them. Yeah. Alright, I'm just about done with the sketching phase, so we're just gonna smile. Haha! And this is our final result. Yeah. I'm pretty happy with how the characters turned out, and I'm just gonna say the background follows the theme as the other covers. If you need to see all the pictures, I'll leave a link in the description below, but other than that, that's the end of the workshop. Hope this helped you out, guys, and I'll wish you luck. Alright, bye.